see if that works. Let's see. That looks good. Let's see. Lighting's pretty good. Hopefully connection's good. Can only hope. Technology. Let's see here. So I can share it. I can. Okay. It's not going to work. Okay. Volume is low. Hello everyone. Just checking. Pre-check stuff. How's the lighting and audio? Is that pretty good? Looks pretty good from my end, but natively from this end it always looks decent. So it all depends on what YouTube does. And this timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly thing. So I don't know. Hey, Michael, what's going on, man? How's the audio and video? Is the lighting pretty good? Curious. There's got to be definitely a need for upgrading probably a newer phone, even though I'm not jumping at wanting to do that. But it's probably a necessary thing to do. But I hope you're well, Michael. And also, too, was it the Eagles won, didn't they? So the Eagles won. So now I think it's against the Pats. Against the Pats is against the Eagles now. So that'll be interesting. Yes, it was a slaughter. Good. I think it will be. I think it will be a good game. I think it'll be a very, very good game to have Philadelphia up against New England. And I think New England needs a good challenge as well. So I think that would also be a big benefit to them to see, to keep them on their toes, And if they're meant to win the 6th Super Bowl, well, they should win it by entertaining us with a very, very good game. At least that's the way I look at it anyway. Those are usually the better games, the games that go back and forth and you're wondering what's going on, and it's a cliffhanger, and you're on the edge of your seat, and I think that's really, really cool. I think that's the way to do it. Usually those games are much better. I've seen that with a lot of Boston games, that when the games that you think that they're on the brink of losing. Great place for a game here, U.S. Bank Stadium. Yeah. All right, be right there. I'll be right there. Hop on a flight right now. Now that actually would be cool. But how is it in Minnesota? Is it cold? Because I know here we've had some milder temperatures here, which is nice. Hasn't been as frigid cold past couple of days, so that's a plus. But and it's been a bit rainy today, so it looked rainy and dismal and dark. Wasn't great, but what can you do? Such is life, right? But yeah, but I'm glad you're here. We're I'm looking forward to getting a few things caught up because I'm kind of stressing. Hey, Pamela, how are you? So yeah, so I'm a little stressing about getting everything caught up and being current. There's some show stuff in the works that I'd like to get sorted out too. And of course, West Coast Wanderlust is in its I want to say we're about 95%. 95% before uploading that show finally. And I just need to get on the ball with getting things more current and getting things up quicker. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Welcome, welcome. I have my trusty producer in the house. Oh, good. And did you try that vinegar? That vinegar is awesome. So unless he's allergic to vinegar, that is like a really good old school home remedy. Because when I had mentioned to you, when you had messaged me and told me you had a fever, I had a pretty bad fever. It was pretty high up there, and nothing seemed to break the fever until my grandmother came over and did that. And she put vinegar on the inside of my elbows, vinegar behind my knees, and then she put me to bed. So that was very, very good. And the fever broke. And Ariel's in the house. Hello, hello. So yeah, so there's some. So it's trying to get current, and it's we've had some challenges. Team Insight is a trusty, crusty little team. There aren't many people, as you all well know. So a lot of it is grassroots, salt of the earth, kind of like gotta do kind of thing. So I have, and it's a big part of it is my bad for not being on top of things and being current. Yes, it does help detox. It basically draws the heat out of the body through these very sensitive. If you think about it, this skin right here is very, very soft and very, very sensitive as opposed to this. Right? This is a little more a little rougher, your elbow, as opposed to the inside. So yeah, we're pretty close to being current at this point. A lot of new things coming up that we just have to get current. That's the only thing. So it's very frustrating to me to be so behind. But again, a lot of it is my bad and lack of energy. And to be fair, it's just been really, really hard. Things have been pretty challenging. Even in the new year, there's been a lot going on. A lot of people have passed away, and that hasn't helped. And these are all people that I was close to. These are, very, very close family. So that's the hard part. Oh yeah, by the way, Pamela is also in Minnesota. Pamela's in Minnesota. Michael, Pamela, Michael. So you're both Minnesotas, don't you know? I don't even know if Minnesotas do that. But I just figured it'd be fun. But yes. Yes, but you're both fellow Minnesotans. Yeah, well, a lot of it was expected. The passing of some of my relatives, and it's unfortunate, but it takes a toll on the people that are still behind, So a lot of that's happened, and I'm talking within the last month and a half. It's been crazy, and between that and trying to keep your head above water and trying to keep practicing what you preach, yeah, it's not always fun. So yes, shortly we will start the broadcast. And also too, while I'm on the topic of the broadcast itself, if you happen to know anyone, YouTube has decided to change their algorithm and not really change their algorithm, I don't think, but they changed their monetization program. So if you are someone that does not have 1,000 subscribers and you have less than X amount, I forget what the figure was, X amount of viewing hours, you get bumped off the monetization. Now, I have not received a dime from YouTube yet, and it's been 2 years, but to be bumped off the monetization program, it just puts behind, it puts us behind a little bit more, and it puts a channel behind, and that's not good. So if you can, tell your friends and tell people people that are just interested, if you know someone that's interested in YouTube videos, they could do that. I know I'm not a typical YouTuber, but please do reach out and share and subscribe and tell people about it. That'd be great. In fact, I'm even thinking of potentially, I just thought of it intuitively just now, of doing possibly something of a referral program. I'll have to put that in the works and kind of run around my brain, let the gears roll a little bit. But maybe if someone gets X amount of subscribers, they win a prize. They win something. How about that for incentive? Maybe that will help. But that's something that we could potentially do. Maybe merch. Oh, maybe you too. If you bring so many subscribers, you could win or receive Insight with Moonshadow merchandise. Of course, Ariel's like, yes! Yeah, so that's an idea. So we're on that race. It's like the presidential race, the race of 270, which the Electoral College is a joke, but we're not going to go there. But it's like the race to 1,000 subscribers. Also, too, I want to thank all the new subscribers that have popped in, come on, and subscribed via Facebook, in social media, Instagram, and of course Twitter, and I've blew life into. I resuscitated my Tumblr account, so I'm everywhere like Horace Pucky. But yes, so thank you very much and welcome my new subscribers. Also, I want to give a shout out to my wonderful Korean students over in South Korea. If you're watching this in a replay, because I know this is like 2 o'clock in the morning in South Korea. Big shout outs to you. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. You guys are doing fantastic. So yeah, so that might be incentive. So if you get and I will post that and I will put that up in my social media with this whole referral program, and then maybe we can go for and see what we can do. I'll have to have a management meeting. So yeah, we can do that. Yeah, but in a couple of minutes, what we're going to do is we'll start the broadcast and get things started, and we can go from there. But I will say this: the interesting thing is, I never really know what I'm going to say all the time. It's not always planned. In fact, it used to be kind of planned, but it's not really planned as of late. So now, of course, being episode 106, it's not really planned. However, intuitively, something came up to me. The message came to me to talk about this. And I think it's a very valuable and important topic for today. And it's not anything new, but I think it's pertinent. I think it's important and pertinent for us to discuss it. So anyone that's popping in from all the different corners of social media, I thank you for being here. Definitely. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll start the show. You know, it'd be really, really cool. I couldn't start the show that way, though. Would be like a theme of the Muppet Show. Now, I'm showing my age at the moment, but wouldn't that be amazing? Like the Muppet Show theme. That's a little too whimsical and funny. But that would be great. I'm telling you, check out, go on, not now, but go on YouTube and check out the Muppet Show theme, like the opener for the Muppet Show. I would love to have the Muppets be my opening act. That would be so freaking cool. Hell, I would be glad to be the opening act of the Muppets, to be honest with you. But the Muppets would be so cool. It'd be awesome. Muppets and Puppets and Bears. Yeah, because think about it. It'd be so cool. Imagine having someone introduce me like Kermit. Hey-ho, Kermit for you. You know what I mean? That'd be fantastic. I think it'd be great. I'd love it. Yes. Or Miss Piggy. Or actually, the Swedish Chef would probably be the best. Honestly. I think Swedish Chef would be the best. Out of the Muppets, I'd probably have... Well, Kermit is the MC of the Muppets, but I'd say the Swedish Chef would be amazing, because he would be like, Nerdy fruity fruity, inside with Moonshadow. Booty 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 booty. That would be cool. I think that'd be neat. Or the most amazing MC would probably be Yoda. Yoda would rock. Even though he's a Force spirit now. But it'd be really, really cool to have Yoda introduce. He was like, that'd be cool. That'd be neat. At least I would think so. Even Darth Vader, he turned out to be he redeemed himself for the most part. So, but Yoda rocked. Yoda's most excellent. That or Stitch from Disney. I'm surprised they don't have a Yoda emoji. Yeah, I know, huh? I know. But that would be very, very cool to have Yoda or Stitch. Oh yeah, all I hear is copyright infringement, right? Well, if I was a Disney product, then I'd be okay. If I was Disney, approved, then it'd be all right. But YouTube would never allow it. So yeah, I can just imagine, Yoda would have to, say something like, "Grub is YouTube. You are not." So yeah. Yeah. Well, I try not to. I try not to curse. I try to keep this a family show. So I try to, alter it to make it a little nicer. At least I try anyway. I try my best. So yes, okay. Now we're gonna just get this thing shot. Get Disney to buy rights to your show. Imagine the merch sales. Moonshadow and Stitch be like compadres. There you go. Rock on. All right. Well, we're gonna get this show on the road. As long as hopefully my phone won't die at a full charge before I started. So we'll have to see about that. But if you do know anyone, definitely tell them to hit up the subby button. We're at 141, I think. 141? I think that's what it is. So we're only, a million away. 840 something or 50 something. No. 842? Correct, 141. So we're not that far away. It could be done. This little show that could. Seriously. This can happen. Oh, and by the way, they're changing this in 859. There you go. So we need 859 people. Let's just say 860 just for rounding it up. But 860 people. That'd be fantastic. But all right, let's get this puppy started. And thank you guys for being here. It is very appreciated. Okay, let's see here. 24 minutes in. Welcome to Insight with Moonshadow. I am Moonshadow. I'm an Integrative Holistic Therapist, CHI-vangelist, global citizen, world traveler, and just overall earthy, crunchy guy trying to change the world one conversation, one hug, and one story at a time. So, in today's topic, every week is usually something. I have to figure out what topic is most pertinent, and a lot of times I use my instincts and my intuition to get it going. So, with what's going on in the world today, a lot of times I learn from my environment because I live shamanically. So basically, in living shamanically, you learn from what's around you, right? What to do, or in this case, in the world today, what not to do and how not to do it. So yeah. But, so that being the case, it's been something where I have spoken about this before in some spots in previous broadcasts, but I figured to dedicate a show to this topic today, which is the revolution, the resistance, the movement, everything that's happening right now. Everything. Now, I've given a lot of props to people that stood up, that have protested, that have taken to social media to make things different, to make things change. But it has become even stronger now since the last time I've spoken to all of you. It's gotten better. We're coming off of the Women's March, the second annual big, huge Women's March 2018, and there were a lot of people that were there. We're talking Austin, Texas. We're talking Washington. We're talking everywhere, LA. Even watching the SAG Awards show, it was prominently featured about women and their rights and who they are. Now I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more. We all have our voice, and we all tend to use our voices in different ways. Sometimes to be part of the problem, sometimes to be part of the solution. And as you know from my posts on my social media, it's all about provoking thought and provoking conversation. Whether it be my Instagram, whether it be Tumblr, Twitter, or Facebook, it's all about bringing the subject of the heart of the matter to what's going on. So in the past year, we have changed things. Some people have decided they want to bring back a lot of the old school ways of doing things which weren't very good. Dislike or nationalistic views or racism or putting down people, degrading immigrants, etc. But in lieu of this, a revolution has come about. Not much different than the 60s, without the sex and the drugs, of course. People are stepping up. People are taking to social media. So now you remember me mentioning quite a few times in my broadcast that you have a voice. It doesn't take, you don't have to be a big corporation. You don't have to be a big group. You don't have to be anybody but you. That's all you got to do. Putting a sign in front of your house, putting it on social media, having a YouTube video. All these things are really, really important. And yes, as Michael is saying, diversity and equality. That it's changed. There is so much hate right now. Now, I'm not getting into politics. I could say what I need to say without bringing in specifics. Because you all are very smart people. I'm not going to be divisive, like some. I'm just going to call it as it is. But I will tell you this. Looking at it from this perspective, we as a people, we were all equal. And that's right. The issue isn't politics, it's human rights. And I'm the first person to say it's people before politics. It's people before everything else in this case. Now, I have broadcasted about human rights. I have broadcasted about a lot of different rights, including women's rights. But at this point, in this day and age, there is absolutely no reason for us to go back to segregation, to people of immigrants. In fact, I just saw a post recently that police were on a bus checking for papers to see if people were documented or undocumented. This was in Florida, people. We have come down to this. We have come down to a point where you can't even take a bus without someone asking you whether you're a U.S. citizen or not. Now, honestly, I can tell you that this is not only deplorable, this is just unacceptable. A lot of people that come into this world put into it. A lot of people that are coming into the United States are actually doing more work than some Americans I know. Some of them are. So, just my belief, sorry not sorry, but if you are working hard and you've built this country and you really help building it, a lot of these buildings were built on the sweat and the blood of a lot of immigrants. In fact, this country wouldn't be this country without the immigrants. But this show isn't about immigrants. This show is about the revolution. This show is about the movement. This show is about actually the diversity and the equality that we should have now, right now. It's 2018. And as Michael's saying, we're all immigrants unless you're Native American, and that's absolutely true. So even the people that want to deport these people are not from here. And to be honest, most Native Americans would never kick you out. They have an interesting view of the planet. But this is all part of it. This is all part of the movement. And I will say this. This is going back about, I'd probably say a few years ago. I've had countless conversations with people, and I said, mark my words, there will be a revolution. There is going to be a resistance. There is going to be a movement. And it's going to be big. And it's going to, when it does happen, it's going to be massive. People from everywhere in the world is going to look at us to set an example. Now, this was years and years ago. Now look, 2018. We live in a divided country. Now, there's no surprise that I've said many times over that I'm not really a society-oriented person. I'm really not. However, tribally oriented is very different. I've adopted people. I've known people that are close to me that weren't blood related. And a lot of you have been closely connected to me, and vice versa, of course. But the point is this. People are stepping up between the Me Too movement, between the Women's March, between people voicing their opinions, against policy, against immigrants. All of this stuff makes a difference, and people need to be accountable. So now, looking at it from that perspective, we're not all perfect, I included, but we have if you have the right intention, the intention to do good by everyone, that's a right step. That's a good step. It's not about just my crew. As much as I love all you, I still need a name. We're still looking at a name. If you have any suggestions for the name, if Justin Bieber can have the Beliebers or whatever, and Taylor Swift can have the Swifties or the Twilights, or I don't know. I know that I know that Ariel would have the answer to that one. The Swifties. It's not the Swifties. But I'm still thinking of a name for all you great peeps. Yeah, is it Swifties? Oh, go figure. But even among our own tribe, and you guys know that I love you all dearly. I think you guys are awesome, and you guys have been there and supported from day one, and I really appreciate that. But you know what? It's not just about you. It's not just about me. It's about all of us. And this is why it's good that we're stepping up. If there was a women's march nearby, I would have been there. Oh, I would have loved to be there. Does it matter? that are male? No, there are a lot of men involved in this Women's March too. Because you know what? This is what it boils down to. We all came from maternal, mitochondrial Eve. We all came from mother and father. So unless you were born in a petri dish, parents, we all have had them. So, of course, equality is important. Look at the other movements. The fact that women get paid 1/3 less than men. So if a man does the same exact job as a woman, she gets paid 1/3 less. Why? Because she gets pregnant? Because she doesn't get pregnant? Because she cannot grow facial hair? I don't know. But the point is this. Equality is equality is equality, period. That's it. That's just the way it stands. So with all these movements happening, I have to give mad, incredibly shouting props to all of you that are standing up, putting yourselves out there, connecting to social media, voicing your thoughts for the greater good. There are some posts I see that, they're putting certain people down, and rightfully so. They may deserve it. However, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, sticking to the positive is really, really important. Exactly. Like the community of the LGBT, yes. Because all of us are human. Well, some of us. Sometimes. LGBTQ, yes. Thank you very much for that. And sometimes there's so many things, and I will say this as a side note. There are so many things going on in my brain all the time that sometimes things don't pop up as quickly as I want them to. But the thing is this, so it doesn't matter. We all deserve respect and we all deserve love. So who is anyone to condemn that? If you're not hurting anybody, then why condemn it? Because your granddaddy said so? Because your great-granddaddy said no, you can't do that? Guess what? And I mean no insult towards Southern people, because some of my best friends are Southern as well. But honestly, conservative or liberal, it's really all about your voice. It's really all about what you choose to do. Evolving is really, really important. And all of us need to evolve. Enlightenment is just that. So if you ate the same brand of cereal for the last 60 years, you have not really lived. If you've stayed in your house and never left your house, and I was just having a conversation about this, if I only lived in my little hometown, and I never had the experience of meeting anyone of any other race, of any other color, of any other gender or anything else, then I would be limited by my experience. But how important is it for us to reach out there, to get out there and experience life? To open our minds and open our hearts and open the possibilities, to look at the possibilities of what we could learn. How many trans soldiers that are out there fighting for us, fighting for our freedom? No one has the right to tell someone that you cannot fight for your country. If you choose, if that is your calling, then you should fight for your country, and you should be allowed to fight for your country. If you are able to get up and do it, then you should. And no one should have anything to say about it. So I can go ahead and I can label off all of the movements that are happening right now, from Black Lives Matter to All Lives Matter to Me Too to the Women's March to you name it. They all have a singular point. They all deserve respect. And we all deserve equality. We all deserve the ability to be able to live and have a decent life. So this is why I picked this topic for today, because we're literally on the tail end of the Women's March, and every day I'm looking at social media and I'm seeing people, wonderful, beautiful, incredible souls, posting, tweeting, sharing ways of making the world better. And honestly, I have to commend that. I have to say, more people should do that. There's a strong need for more people to do that. Don't call me. I hate when people call me while I'm in the show. Come on, ne? But the thing is this, though. We have now come to the day and age where the single person can now spark a revolution. You remember the movie Divergent. You remember the movie Hunger Games. It's surrounded, even in our movies in Hollywood. The David and Goliath story. How one little guy takes on the big company, or takes on the world, or takes on the big bad, and wins. So because of this is the important part of why the topic is this resistance, is the revolution. We can and we will make change. Now, anyone that's listening to this, and I know the people that should be listening aren't listening necessarily, but not only do you have to do your job, we're not going away. Women will keep coming up. Even children are weighing in on this. I've seen posts with children. One post that I had shared recently is a young boy, and I'm positive he's empathic. I'm positive he was an empath. Feeling the pain of Mother Earth and what's happening today. And even his mother encouraging him to make posters and to speak up, and that he can make change even at his young age. So this is the important thing. This is the importance right here, right now. We could make the appropriate changes. We need to become a lot smarter in who we put in our leadership positions. We have to become more conscious consumers. We have to be aware of what they're putting in our food. We need to be aware of what they're trying to sell us, whoever they are. This is no longer the time for us to now bury our heads in the sand and ignore what's happening. And some people do, and I'm not going to criticize. But at this point in time, there's a strong need for us to stand up and resist. To make our voice louder. To throw that, not just a pebble, but throw a large boulder and cause a bigger ripple to make change. Change will happen. And I've seen change coming along. However, we need to step it up even more. This is why every day I'm doing my best as one single voice, one single spark, one single soul, trying to do my best to put it out there. But now is the time. If you don't like what's going on, reach out, call people, make the noise. If you think about it, there's an old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Now that's an old expression. But don't we need to be a little squeaker? I think so. So don't believe everything you see and don't believe everything you hear. Educate yourself. Put yourself out there. Look at what it is. If it's one movement, do it. One of the movements that I've shared recently, and I think it's just an incredible movement, and this is going back a while ago, was regarding breastfeeding. How I've seen quite a few posts for quite some time where a woman would be breastfeeding in public and people would be like, that's indecent. We need to really look at what's decent and what's indecent nowadays. What is acceptable and what's not acceptable nowadays. This is a big reason why right now people keep voicing their opinions and keep putting themselves out there. So I can only hope at this point that this world gets flipped on its head and changes for the better. And we're heading towards positive change, but it's not going to be without our growing pains. It's not going to be without us being affected. So last broadcast I had said something about if you don't have nothing nice to say, you shouldn't say anything. Well, there are other ways you can say it without being nasty. Because also, too, if you put that energy into that dark space, it also grows, it also changes. There are a lot of people that have sacrificed their lives. You know, a couple of broadcasts ago, it was Martin Luther King. He was snuffed out, but his message wasn't. John Lennon, his message to this now, right now, it still resounds loudly. Bono's still doing his work. So a lot of people are putting forth a lot of their energy. They're putting their souls out there for the cause. Whether it was Princess Diana, whether it was, Nelson Mandela, all these people that I regard highly and give uber respect for. Even one of my influences, Albert Einstein, was a bit against society and wasn't really accepted until much later. But nowadays, whether you're Richard Branson or Joe Schmo, now it's time. It's no longer a time where it's just cats with keyboards. We live in a day and age that this digital media, this digital landscape can be used for immeasurable good. You could do a lot of things with it. You can put out a lot of good. People even trying to destroy that through net neutrality. So if that's not a slap in the face of the Second Amendment, I don't know what is. I mean, not the Second Amendment, the First Amendment. Sorry. Apologize. I believe in the Second Amendment too. But being the First Amendment of freedom of speech, net neutrality slaps the First Amendment right in the face. So if you think about it, this is something that we have no choice but to do. We need to put up petitions. We need to make phone calls. We need to talk to people in power. We need to make changes. Now, if you choose not to, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to criticize you for it. I won't do that. However, I will say this. Anyone who has a voice, don't just whisper. Use a megaphone if you have to. Use a social media if you have to. If there's a movement, a cause, or a charity. And even, coming up, I will be launching some merchandise. But even then, the sale of everything, before I even start, the sale of every single item is going to be, part of it's going to go to charity. Before I even started. There needs to be more good in the world, and I've seen good in the world quite often, and I see it every day. We need to amplify this. We need to put this in the large scheme of things. Because what's going on today, right now, is unfortunate. And myself being a global citizen, I consider myself being a global citizen, even though I'm proud of the soldiers that fight for our country and fight for our freedom. I give love and respect. But things need to change. Things need to get better. We all need to bring back the ability to have a good life. So for you to do that, freedom isn't free. You might need to step up and join a cause, join a movement, speak your voice. You choose not to, that's cool too. However, this is just a little challenge, a little invitation to join the resistance, join the revolution. Whether it's animal cruelty, whether it's, women's rights, whether it's LGBTQ, whatever it may be. Pick a movement, pick a charity, and be a voice. Add your voice to it. Add your voice to many movements and different charities. Volunteer if you can. Because all of this really, really makes a difference. All of this really matters. We matter. And we don't want to go the same route as the Romans, as the Greeks, and the rest of humanity, because honestly, humanity has destroyed itself countless times over and over again, over ego and greed. So, and I can go on a rant with that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it on the positive. Ego and greed is not going to change the world, and it's not going to make it better. So now, at this point, this is why I applaud everyone that's speaking up, stepping up, using their voice, using their hashtags. And you know what? I wasn't a big fan of hashtags, I will tell you that. However, they are a good tool in motivating people, to the point where I went ahead and I started my own with Moonsights, which are just insights for myself. So Moonsights, as well as Be Strong, Be Amazing, Be You. We need to put more good out there, and that's really what's really important here, and that's what the focus of today's show is about, is really putting out the best possible good we can, because there are people that need protection. We have children that are going to get deported if we don't speak up. Power that happening. We still have some people, believe it or not, there are some people that still believe in fossil fuels and we have unlimited resources and fossil fuels, and we have enough oil and coal for the rest of our lives. No. I personally have solar panels on my house. That was also another decision to be part of the movement, part of the change, part of the resistance. To say, look, things need to change. And since they need to change, if someone doesn't have a voice, and not, some children don't have a voice. Animals don't have a voice. You look at animal cruelty. How many people have, are so cruel to their animals? Hey, Marisha, welcome back. How you doing? So ultimately, it's really all about that. There are a lot of wonderful, beautiful souls that cannot speak up for themselves or don't have the strength to. And so now is the time. If you feel passionate about something, if your heart is in something, it's there. As an example, something that cuts me deep is, and unfortunately I've witnessed this personally. To see a young person, their life snuffed out too soon, kills me. We have the ability to add to research. So we have a lot of these childhood cures, these childhood diseases, to put them behind us. But of course, we got people that tend to not really do their job, or they say they're part of the solution, but they just keep on pooping on the problem. They keep adding insult to injury, and they keep doing that stuff. I'm not going to give them any attention now and here at this moment, because at this point I'm only talking about being part of the solution. So the resistance is real. What you've seen in movies, what you've read in books, it's 2018, and it's coming to that. Maybe not as fantastic. Maybe there are not going to be zombies. Maybe there isn't, nuclear war, but it's looming above us, people. We need to make changes, and it's up to us to do it. You have an incredible weapon. You have an incredible tool, and your tool is your voice. Your tool are your fingers. You have a weapon right in front of you, utilizing social media, social platforms. Post, tweet, do whatever it takes. Bring awareness. Because the squeaky wheel does get the grease. And we need to be a world of squeaky, screaming wheels for sure. We no longer need to lubricate the wheels that don't work, because this machine has been broken a long time. So today's show may sound like a little bit of doom and gloom. It's really not. It's all about really positivity. It's really truly about positivity. It's really truly about how you yourself you can change your world one person at a time, one moment at a time. I know people at Thanksgiving, and I myself will do it as well. Bring food to the people in need. There was a post recently of a woman in Connecticut going off and buying a coat for a man that was homeless. The human spirit has come up and has raised up, very much like the phoenix from the ashes, to speak up for the people that can't speak up for themselves. And that is amazing. That is what keeps me doing this. That is just, that gives me hope that things will change. So as much as all this stuff seems to be, in chaos and divided, it's only a matter of time before it changes again, because it has to. That's one thing that I can honestly say, that I'm not an expert, but I can tell you things always come full circle. So whatever you see is going on right now, you don't really like what's happening, you too can change that. You too can speak up. You too can be part of the resistance, whatever resistance that is, whether it be the women's movement, whether it be fighting against animal cruelty, Monsanto, powers that be, inequality, all of it. You do not have to bow down and be silent anymore. You don't have to be an actor. You don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire. You could be everybody, anybody. You could be a Girl Scout. You don't even have to be able to vote yet and still have a voice. So ultimately, this is what today is all about. I wanted to raise awareness to the fact that there is a resistance. Yes, and you have a choice of joining the resistance or not. You have a choice of going with the majority or strengthen the minority. Whatever that minority is. All of this is incredibly important now. We don't need to go back to the days where people are jailed unfairly, where women are treated as second-class citizens, or the elderly are left out to die and forgotten. We don't need that energy. That energy does not suit us, does not serve us well. So I will have to say that. I know, it kind of sounds like a rant, and I apologize. Sorry. Not sorry. But we all have a life purpose. We all have our life purpose, and we all have our soul contracts on why we signed them and for what reason and what things we are supposed to do coming here into the world. And my purpose, obviously, is to be a thorn and to be a healer, wounded or not. And I take on that role, and I take on that life path, and I take on that purpose every day. Sometimes to my sometimes to my not benefit, sometimes to my hardship, to be honest with you. But I'm not anyone special in that regard. All of us can stand up to raise a fist in defiance, to be part of that human movement that makes change and makes things right. You have the choice and you have the power. You have a voice. Spread those wings and get up there and do it. Even if you just look at who you're voting for. Be educated. Because ultimately, we should matter. So, victory cry, rant, challenge, conversation. I want to thank you, everybody, for being here, for being part of this conversation and being part of this broadcast. And I have to say that a lot of you that watch this program, watch this broadcast, do your part. And you do. I see it. I've seen it. I watch how things are and I feel them empathically. I see the world and I see the good in it. So ultimately, it's because of you that I continue doing this. And whether it's popular or not, whether I'm popular or not, I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to put my voice out there. I'm still going to focus, whether it be here on this little show that could, or out there in the world, trying to promote good, one person, one conversation, or one hug at a time. Now, also, one thing that I need to bring up in this broadcast as well is, being a small little broadcast and a small little channel, we could definitely use subscribers. So if it's possible, if you like the content, if you like what you hear, or you know someone that would like that, it'd be fantastic. So that way we can hopefully earn enough to actually function where this show can actually pay for itself. That'd be really great. So we're on a race to 1,000 subscribers, and we could go. I think we need 859 to go to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. So please do share and tell your friends, even if it's just for wondering what the hell I'm going to say week to week. But it's only getting better. There's a lot of new improvements coming up, and I promise you. Well, okay, I can't promise you because we all have our opinions. But I promise you I'll put 100% into making this the best I can make it for you as well. So a lot of new improvements, a lot of things coming up, merchandise coming up, and of course, proceeds. Some of the proceeds of the merchandise will go to charities as well. Some multiple charities. I'm still in the works of figuring that out. So all of that makes a difference. So if you'd like to pick my little movement, my little channel, please do subscribe and hit that little bell and to get notifications on when I post something or when I'm live. So on that note, I want to thank all of you for being here. You guys are amazing, and it's just incredible having all of you share your thoughts and opinions here on this show, having this being a safe place for you guys to speak your mind. I appreciate you all. So thank you for being you. It's well appreciated and well respected. So that's going to do it for this week. We will catch you next week on Monday, where we're trying to nail down a time. I apologize for being late, but like I said, it's always Monday, and I always put a show consistently. This is the 106th episode, and I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. So I'm standing up and telling you that there's nothing but evolvement so far, no matter how tough and challenging things are. I continue to try to push up, push forward, and press on. And this show is one of those things. But as I say, every week, be strong, be amazing, be you. Thanks, guys. Take care. And Frank, thanks for coming. You caught me in the last bit of it. See you guys.